Beloved, as this new Sunday morning begins, I gently invite you to settle your heart and breathe in the peace of God, right where you are. Before anything else, receive this assurance. The Lord's protection is resting over you and your family even now, covering your home, guarding your steps, surrounding your loved ones with His divine presence. This is not just another day. This is a sacred moment to dedicate this entire week into God's hands, trusting Him to lead you into favor, peace, and quiet victory. Take a moment and become aware of God's nearness. He is not far from you. He is here, faithful, gentle, and attentive to every whisper of your heart. This morning is an invitation to surrender the unknowns of your week, the silent worries, the plans you carry, and even the things you cannot explain. As you sit in His presence, allow His calm to wash over you, reminding you that He goes before you, making every crooked path straight. As we prepare to pray together, I want to encourage you. Open your heart fully to God. Let this be more than words. Let it be a moment of real connection. If this space is already bringing you peace, gently take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel for daily prayers that strengthen your spirit. And in the comments, write Amen as a declaration of your faith. And also share one thing you are believing God for today. There is power when faith is spoken, even in quiet agreement. Now, as we lean into this morning, remember, God delights in walking with you into this new week. He is not sending you alone. He is guiding you, ordering your steps, and aligning things behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet see. What feels uncertain to you is already known to Him, and His favor is already moving ahead of you, preparing doors, softening hearts, and establishing peace where there was once tension. So let your spirit rest here for a moment longer. Let every burden become lighter. Let every anxious thought fade into His presence. This is your time with God, unhurried, undisturbed, and filled with quiet assurance. And as we begin this prayer, carry this knowing deep within you. This week is not ordinary. It is covered, guided, and filled with divine favor. Beloved, as you step into this new week, there is something deeply sacred about the act of surrender. Something quiet yet powerful about placing everything you are and everything you carry into the hands of God. This is not a moment of loss, it is a moment of trust. It is not weakness, it is alignment. When you choose to dedicate your week fully into God's hands, you are not giving up control in fear. You are releasing control in faith, knowing that the one who holds your life sees far beyond what your eyes can perceive. So gently, without rushing, begin to release your plans before Him. The things you have carefully thought through, the expectations you have quietly built, the hopes that sit deep within your heart. Let them rest in His presence, not with anxiety but with peace, knowing that His will is not only perfect, it is kind. There is a softness in surrender that many people misunderstand. It does not strip you of direction. It gives you divine direction. It does not leave you uncertain. It anchors you in something unshakable. When you surrender your week to God, you are inviting Him into every detail, into your mornings, into your decisions, into your conversations, into the moments you have not yet lived. And what a beautiful assurance it is to know that nothing in your week will catch God by surprise. He already stands in your Monday. He already walks within your Wednesday. He already sees the end of your week with clarity and purpose. So as you sit quietly in His presence, allow your heart to whisper, Lord, I trust You with my week. I trust You with my steps. I trust You with every outcome. Sometimes we hold on so tightly to our own plans because we are afraid of the unknown. We want certainty, we want clarity, we want to feel in control. But God gently invites you into something deeper than control. He invites you into trust. And trust is not built in loud moments. It is built in quiet surrender. It is built when you release your need to understand everything and choose to believe that God understands enough for both of you. There may be things ahead this week that you cannot predict, but there is nothing ahead that God cannot handle. So let your grip loosen. Let your heart soften. Let your spirit rest in the truth that you are not walking into this week alone. As you dedicate your week to God, you are also opening the door for His will to shape your path in ways that bring peace rather than pressure. His will does not confuse, it clarifies. His will does not overwhelm, it steadies. And even when His direction leads you into places that feel unfamiliar, there is a quiet confidence that comes with knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. You do not have to force anything this week. You do not have to strive endlessly to make things happen. When your life is surrendered, you begin to move with a different rhythm. A rhythm of grace, a rhythm of trust, a rhythm that flows from the assurance that God is working on your behalf, even when you cannot see it. There is something beautiful about waking up each morning and reminding your soul, this day belongs to God. It shifts your perspective. It removes the pressure to control every outcome. It allows you to walk into each moment with a sense of peace that cannot be shaken by circumstances. When challenges arise, you remember that you have already placed this day in God's hands. When uncertainty tries to speak, you remember that your week is already covered by His presence. This is the power of dedication. It anchors you before the storm ever tries to rise. It prepares your spirit before the day even begins. And as you surrender your plans, you begin to notice something gentle yet profound. God begins to align things in ways you could never arrange on your own. Doors begin to open without force. Conversations begin to carry unexpected grace. Opportunities begin to appear in places you did not anticipate. This is not coincidence. This is the fruit of surrender. When you release your plans into God's hands, you make room for His plans to unfold. And His plans are not limited by your understanding. They are shaped by His wisdom, His love, and His perfect timing, beloved. There is no need to carry the weight of this week on your own shoulders. You were never designed to bear that burden alone. God invites you to lay it down, gently, completely, without hesitation. Lay down your worries, lay down your fears, lay down your expectations. Let them rest at His feet, and in their place, receive His peace. Receive His assurance. Receive His quiet presence that whispers to your soul, I am with you. I am guiding you. I am taking care of you. Even in moments where things do not go as you expected, surrender will keep your heart steady, because your trust is not in outcomes. Your trust is in God, and God does not fail. His ways are higher. His vision is clearer. His timing is perfect. What you may see as delay, He sees as preparation. What you may feel as uncertainty, He knows as purpose. So continue to release your expectations and embrace His process, knowing that everything is being shaped according to His will. As this week unfolds, let your posture remain one of quiet surrender, not just in the beginning, but in every moment. When decisions come, surrender them. When emotions rise, surrender them. When questions appear, surrender them. Let your life become a continuous offering, a gentle rhythm of trust that flows from morning to night. And in that rhythm, you will find peace that does not fade, strength that does not weaken, and joy that is not dependent on circumstances. There is also a deep freedom that comes when you no longer feel the need to control everything. Surrender releases you from the pressure of perfection. It allows you to simply walk with God, step by step, moment by moment. You do not have to have all the answers. You do not have to see the entire path. All you need is a willing heart and a trusting spirit, and God will take care of the rest. So as you sit here in this quiet moment, let your heart speak softly to God. Offer Him your week, every detail, every hope, every concern. Let it be a sincere exchange. Not rushed, not forced, but genuine. And as you do, feel the weight lifting from your spirit. Feel the peace settling within you. Feel the assurance that you are held, that you are guided, that you are not alone. This week does not depend on your strength alone. It rests in God's hands. And His hands are steady. His hands are faithful. His hands are full of grace. So trust Him, completely, deeply, without hesitation. Let your soul rest in His care, knowing that everything you have surrendered is safe with Him, and everything ahead is already under His control, beloved. As you enter this new week, there is a gentle invitation from the heart of God to walk in His protection, to live aware that you are not exposed, not vulnerable, not alone, but covered, completely and lovingly, by His presence. This is not a distant promise, it is a present reality. Even now, as you breathe, as you listen, as you become still, God's protection is surrounding you and your family like a quiet shield, unseen, yet unbreakable. Let this truth settle deeply into your spirit. You are kept by God. There is a peace that comes when you begin to truly believe that God is watching over you. Not occasionally, not only in moments of need, but continuously, faithfully, without interruption. His eyes do not wander from you. His attention does not drift. He is attentive to every detail of your life, every movement of your day, every step you take into this week. And as you walk forward, you are not stepping into uncertainty. You are stepping into a path that is already covered by His care. Sometimes, life can make you feel exposed, as if anything could happen at any moment, as if you must constantly be alert, constantly prepared, constantly guarding yourself. But God gently speaks to your heart and says, you do not have to carry that burden. His protection is not something you have to earn, it is something you receive. It flows from His love, not from your effort. And when you begin to receive it, you begin to walk differently, more peacefully, more steadily, more confidently. As you think about your family, your loved ones, those who matter deeply to your heart, allow yourself to release them into God's protection as well. You do not have to watch over them in fear. You do not have to carry anxiety about their safety. God's presence surrounds them, even when you cannot see them, even when they are far from you, even when you do not know what they are facing. His protection is not limited by distance. It is not weakened by time. It is constant, steady, and faithful. There is something deeply comforting about knowing that God goes before you. Before you step into any situation this week, He is already there. Before you face any challenge, He has already prepared a way. Before anything tries to rise against you, His protection has already been established. This is why you can walk with peace. Not because everything is predictable, but because everything is covered. And when you walk in God's protection, fear begins to lose its voice. It may still try to whisper, it may still try to rise, but it no longer has authority over your heart. Because you know, deep within your spirit, that you are not unguarded. You are not left to figure things out alone. You are surrounded by a presence that is stronger than anything that could come against you. Let your heart rest in this truth as you move through your days. When you leave your home, you are covered. When you return, you are still covered. When you speak, when you listen, when you work, when you rest, God's protection remains with you. It does not come and go. It does not fade. It remains steady, like a quiet assurance that follows you wherever you are. There may be moments this week when things feel uncertain, when situations arise that you did not expect, when your mind begins to wander into worry. In those moments, gently bring your focus back to this truth. God is your protector, not just in words, but in reality. Not just in theory, but in action. He is actively watching over you, actively guiding you, actively shielding you from what you cannot see. And as you become more aware of His protection, you begin to notice the subtle ways He moves in your life. The delays that keep you from harm, the redirections that lead you away from danger, the quiet impressions that guide your decisions. These are not random moments. These are expressions of His care. They are reminders that you are being led, that you are being watched over, that you are being protected in ways you may never fully understand. Beloved, you are safe in God, not because life will never present challenges, but because His presence is greater than any challenge you may face. His protection does not mean the absence of difficulty. It means the presence of divine covering within every situation. It means that even when things are not perfect, you are still held, you are still guarded, you are still under His care. As you walk through this week, let your spirit remain calm and steady. Do not rush ahead in fear. Do not allow anxiety to dictate your steps. Move with a quiet confidence, knowing that God is with you. Let your thoughts be anchored in His promises. Let your heart be filled with His peace. Let your life reflect the assurance that comes from knowing you are protected, and extend that same trust over your family. Speak peace over them in your heart. Release them from your worry and place them into God's hands. Trust that He is watching over them, just as He is watching over you. Trust that His presence is with them in every moment, in every place, in every situation. You do not have to carry the weight of their safety. God carries it for you. There is a gentle strength that comes from walking in God's protection. It is not loud, it is not forceful, it is not anxious. It is calm, steady, and deeply rooted. It allows you to face your days without fear. It allows you to rest at night without worry. It allows you to live fully, knowing that you are covered by something greater than yourself. So as this week unfolds, remain aware of His presence. Let it be the quiet background of every moment, the steady foundation beneath every step. When you wake in the morning, acknowledge His protection. When you move through your day, trust His covering. When you lay down at night, rest in His care. Let this awareness become a gentle rhythm in your life, a constant reminder that you are not alone, that you are not unguarded, that you are held within the embrace of God's protection. And even in the moments where you do not feel it, where your emotions seem distant, where your thoughts feel scattered, His protection remains unchanged. It does not depend on how you feel. It does not weaken when you are uncertain. It stands firm, rooted in His faithfulness, unshaken by circumstance. So breathe deeply. Allow your heart to settle and receive this covering anew. Let it wrap around your spirit like a quiet embrace. Let it bring peace to your mind. Let it calm every fear. Let it remind you that as you step into this new week, you are not stepping alone. You are stepping under the watchful, loving, and constant protection of God. Beloved, as you step gently into this new week, there is a quiet assurance that God is already ahead of you, already present in the moments you have not yet lived, already aware of the paths you will walk, already guiding the steps you are about to take. You are not wandering through this week, trying to figure everything out on your own. You are being led, carefully, intentionally, lovingly, by a God who sees what you cannot see and understands what you cannot yet understand. And as you become still in His presence, allow your heart to receive this truth. You can trust His guidance, There is a softness in being led by God that removes the pressure to have everything planned perfectly. So often, we feel the need to control every detail, to map out every step, to anticipate every outcome. But God gently invites you into a different way of walking, a way that is not driven by fear, but by trust. When you trust His guidance, you do not have to rush ahead. You do not have to strive to figure everything out at once. You simply take one step at a time, knowing that each step is being ordered by Him. God's guidance is not always loud. It is often quiet, gentle, and deeply peaceful. It comes as a subtle impression in your spirit, a calm knowing in your heart, a sense of direction that does not shout but whispers. And because it is so gentle, it requires a heart that is willing to slow down and listen. So as you move through this week, allow yourself to remain attentive to His voice. Not the noise of the world, not the pressure of expectations, but the quiet leading of God within you. There may be moments when you feel unsure, moments when decisions arise and you do not immediately know what to do. In those moments, remember that uncertainty does not mean absence. Just because you do not see the full path does not mean God is not guiding you. His direction is not always revealed all at once. Sometimes, He shows you just enough for the next step, inviting you to trust Him for what comes after. And there is something beautiful about that kind of trust. It keeps your heart connected to Him, dependent on Him, aware of His presence. As you trust God's guidance, you begin to notice that your steps become more peaceful. You are no longer driven by anxiety or urgency. You are not constantly second-guessing yourself. Instead, there is a calm confidence that settles within you, a quiet assurance that even if you do not understand everything, you are still being led. And that assurance brings rest to your mind and stability to your spirit. God knows the places you need to go this week. He knows the conversations you need to have, the decisions you need to make, the opportunities that are meant for you. Nothing is hidden from Him. Nothing is outside of His awareness. So as you walk forward, release the need to predict everything. Release the need to control every outcome. Trust that God is already working behind the scenes, aligning things in ways you cannot yet see. Sometimes, His guidance will lead you in ways that feel unexpected. Doors may close that you thought would open. Paths may shift in directions you did not anticipate. But even in those moments, His guidance remains steady. What feels like a detour to you may be a divine redirection. What feels like a delay may be a moment of preparation. So do not resist His leading when it looks different from your plans. Instead, lean into it with trust, knowing that His ways are always rooted in wisdom and love. As you continue through your days, let your heart remain open to His direction. Invite Him into your decisions, both big and small. Before you move, pause. Before you speak, listen. Before you act, seek His peace, and allow that peace to guide you. Because one of the clearest signs of God's leading is the presence of His peace. When He is guiding you, there is a sense of calm that accompanies your steps. Even if the situation itself is not perfect, beloved, you do not have to walk this week with uncertainty in your heart. You can walk with quiet confidence, knowing that your steps are being ordered by God. Even when you cannot see the full picture, He sees it completely. Even when you feel unsure, He remains certain. And His certainty is enough to carry you forward. There is also a grace that comes with trusting God's guidance, a grace that removes the burden of perfection. You do not have to get everything right. You do not have to make flawless decisions. You simply have to remain connected to Him, willing to be led, open to His direction. And as you do, He gently adjusts your path, corrects your course, and leads you where you need to be. As you move through this week, take comfort in knowing that God is not only guiding your steps, but He is also walking with you. He is present in every moment, attentive to every detail, aware of every need. You are not following from a distance. You are walking with Him, side by side, step by step. And in that closeness there is peace. In that companionship there is strength. Even in moments where you feel like you have taken a wrong turn, His guidance does not leave you. He gently brings you back, redirects your steps, and continues to lead you forward. His grace covers your missteps. His wisdom corrects your path. His love remains constant, never withdrawing, never failing. So let your heart rest in this truth. You are being led, not by chance, not by circumstance, but by the hand of God. Every step you take this week is under His watchful care. Every decision you face is within His awareness. Every moment you live is held within His presence. And as you trust His guidance more deeply, you will begin to experience a new kind of peace. A peace that does not depend on knowing everything, but on trusting the one who does. A peace that remains steady, even when life feels uncertain. A peace that anchors your heart and steadies your steps. So breathe gently. Release the pressure to figure everything out, and allow yourself to be led. Let God guide your steps this week. Let Him direct your path. Let Him order your moments. And walk forward with a calm and trusting heart, knowing that you are not alone, that you are not uncertain, that you are being guided by a faithful and loving God. Beloved, as you enter into this new week, there is a gentle invitation from God to lift your heart into a place of expectation, to quietly declare, deep within your spirit, that His divine favor is already moving on your behalf. This is not something you force. It is something you receive. It is not something you strive to earn. It is something that flows from His love toward you. And as you sit in this stillness, allow yourself to become aware of this truth. God's favor is not distant. It is near, it is present, and it is resting upon your life even now. There is a quiet power in making a declaration of faith. Not a loud or hurried statement, but a calm and steady knowing that settles in your heart. When you declare divine favor over your life, you are aligning your thoughts with what God has already spoken. You are choosing to see your week, not through the lens of fear or limitation, but through the lens of God's goodness and intention. And as you do, something within you begins to shift. Your perspective softens. Your spirit becomes lighter. Your heart opens to possibilities you may not have considered before. Divine favor is not always dramatic or obvious. Often, it moves in gentle and subtle ways. It appears in the timing of things, in the kindness of people, in the doors that open without struggle, in the peace that surrounds your decisions. It is the quiet hand of God arranging things for your good, even when you are not fully aware of it. So as you move through this week, remain attentive to these moments. Do not overlook the small blessings, the simple alignments, the quiet breakthroughs. These are expressions of God's favor at work in your life. As you declare favor, let it come from a place of trust rather than pressure. You do not have to convince God to bless you. You do not have to strive to prove yourself worthy. His favor flows from His nature, not from your performance. And when you truly understand this, your declaration becomes restful. It becomes a quiet agreement with heaven, a gentle acceptance of what God is already doing. There may be areas of your life where you are believing for change, places where you have been waiting, hoping, wondering when something will shift. Bring those areas before God now, not with anxiety, but with faith. Declare His favor over them. Speak peace into those spaces. Trust that even if you do not see immediate results, God is still working. His timing is not rushed, but it is always perfect. and His favor is not delayed. It is unfolding in ways that are being carefully prepared. As you walk through your days, carry this declaration with you like a quiet anchor. When you wake in the morning, remind your soul that God's favor is with you. When you step into your responsibilities, trust that His favor is going before you. When you face uncertainty, rest in the assurance that His favor is surrounding you. Let this awareness become a gentle rhythm in your life, shaping the way you think, the way you speak, the way you move. There is also a confidence that comes with knowing you are favored by God. Not a prideful confidence, but a peaceful assurance. It allows you to walk into situations without fear, to engage with others without insecurity, to make decisions without constant doubt, because you know that you are not relying on your own strength alone. You are walking with the favor of God upon your life. Sometimes favor will lead you into opportunities that you did not expect. Doors may open that you did not knock on. People may extend kindness that you did not anticipate. Situations may shift in ways that surprise you. When these moments come, receive them with gratitude. Do not question whether you deserve them. Do not hesitate to step into them. Simply acknowledge that God's favor is at work and move forward with humility and trust. And even in moments where things do not go as you hoped, His favor does not leave you. It may not always look the way you expect, but it remains present. Sometimes, favor is found in what did not happen, in the doors that stayed closed, in the paths that were redirected, in the delays that protected you from something you could not see. Trust that God's favor is not limited to visible blessings. It is also present in His protection, in His guidance, in His quiet redirections. Beloved, your life is not ordinary. It is touched by the hand of God. And as you declare His favor over your life, you are stepping into a deeper awareness of that truth. You are choosing to see your week through the lens of faith, to believe that God is actively involved in your journey, to trust that He is working for your good in every moment. Let your words this week reflect that belief. Speak life over your situations. Speak peace over your mind. Speak blessing over your family. Let your declarations be gentle but firm, rooted in trust rather than fear. And as you speak, allow your heart to remain open, ready to receive what God is doing. There is a quiet beauty in living with this awareness of favor. It removes the heaviness of striving. It replaces it with a sense of flow, a sense of ease, a sense of being carried, rather than constantly pushing forward. You begin to move with grace, to respond with peace, to trust with confidence. And in that posture, you create space for God to move more freely in your life. As you continue through this week, remain grounded in this truth. God's favor is with you. It is not something that comes and goes based on circumstances. It is a steady presence, a constant reality, a reflection of His love toward you. And as you embrace it, you will begin to see its impact in ways both small and significant. So let your heart rest in this gentle assurance. Let your spirit remain calm and open. Let your thoughts align with His promises, and walk forward into this week with a quiet declaration rising within you that God's favor is upon your life, that He is working on your behalf, that He is guiding you into moments of blessing, peace, and purpose. Beloved, as you settle into this quiet moment, there is a gentle invitation waiting for you. An invitation not to strive, not to rush, not to carry more than you were meant to bear, but simply to rest in the presence of God. This rest is not about doing nothing. It is about releasing everything. It is about allowing your soul to exhale, to soften, to become still enough to recognize that God is already here with you, holding you in a peace that does not demand anything from you. You do not have to earn this moment. You only have to receive it. There is a kind of tiredness that sleep cannot fix, a weight that lingers not in the body, but in the heart and mind. It comes from carrying worries, from thinking too much, from trying to manage things that feel uncertain or out of control. And God, in His gentleness, does not ask you to carry these things any longer. He invites you to lay them down, not forcefully, not all at once, but gradually, softly, one burden at a time. As you sit here, begin to notice what you have been holding on to. Without judgment, without pressure, simply become aware, and then gently place those things into His hands. Resting in God's presence is not complicated. It does not require perfect words or perfect thoughts. It is as simple as being still and knowing that He is God, knowing that He is near, knowing that you are safe with Him. Even if your thoughts wander, even if your mind feels busy, do not be discouraged. Just return to that quiet awareness again and again. Let your heart settle into His presence like a child resting beside someone they trust completely. As you release anxiety, you may feel a subtle shift within you. It may not be dramatic, it may not be immediate, but it will be real. A lightness begins to replace heaviness. A calm begins to replace tension. This is the work of God's peace within you. Not something you create, but something you receive. His peace is not fragile. It does not depend on everything going perfectly. It remains steady even when life feels uncertain. There is a deep comfort in knowing that you do not have to solve everything right now. You do not have to figure out every detail of your week. You do not have to carry the answers to questions that have not yet been revealed. God is already holding those answers. He is already working in ways you cannot see. And as you rest in His presence, you are aligning yourself with that truth. You are choosing trust over tension, peace over pressure. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply pause. To step away from the noise, the expectations, the endless thoughts, and sit quietly with God. In that stillness, you begin to hear His gentle voice, not in loud words, but in a sense of peace, in a quiet reassurance, in a calm knowing that settles within your spirit. This is where strength is renewed. This is where clarity begins to form. This is where your soul finds rest. As you continue to sit in this moment, allow your breathing to slow, allow your shoulders to relax, allow your thoughts to soften. There is no urgency here. There is no need to rush ahead. This is your time with God, unhurried, undisturbed, deeply peaceful. Let yourself remain here for as long as you need, simply resting in His presence, allowing His peace to gently fill every part of you. There may be thoughts that try to pull you away, reminders of things you need to do, worries about what might happen, questions that remain unanswered. When those thoughts come, do not fight them harshly. Just acknowledge them, and then gently release them back into God's care. You do not have to hold on to them. You do not have to carry them alone. God is more than able to handle everything that concerns you. As you rest, you begin to realize that God's presence is not something distant or occasional. It is constant. It is steady. It is always available to you. You can return to this place of rest at any moment. Throughout your day, in the middle of your responsibilities, even in moments of difficulty, His presence is not limited by time or circumstance. It is always open to you, always ready to receive you. There is also a quiet strength that comes from resting in God. It may not feel like strength in the way the world defines it, but it is deeper, more enduring. It is the kind of strength that allows you to remain calm in the midst of uncertainty, to respond with peace instead of fear, to move forward with confidence, even when you do not have all the answers. This strength does not come from striving. It comes from resting. Beloved, you are allowed to let go. You are allowed to release the pressure you have been carrying. You are allowed to step out of the cycle of constant thinking and into the quiet of God's presence. There is nothing you need to prove here. There is nothing you need to fix in this moment. You are simply invited to be, to rest, to receive. As this week unfolds, carry this posture of rest with you. Let it shape the way you move through your days. When things become overwhelming, return to this place. When your thoughts begin to race, return to this place. When you feel the weight of responsibility pressing on you, return to this place. Let God's presence become your refuge, a steady place of peace that you can enter at any time. And as you rest, trust that God is still working. Rest does not stop His activity. It aligns you with it. While you are being still, He is moving. While you are releasing, He is arranging. While you are resting, He is restoring. There is no moment where He is not at work on your behalf. So you can truly let go, knowing that everything is being taken care of in ways you may never fully see. There is a quiet beauty in living from this place of rest. It changes how you experience life. It softens your responses. It deepens your peace. It allows you to move through your week without being consumed by worry or driven by pressure. Instead, you are carried by a sense of calm assurance that God is with you, that He is guiding you, that He is holding you so. Remain here for a moment longer. Let your heart stay still. Let your spirit remain open. Let God's peace continue to settle within you. This is not just a moment. It is a foundation, a place you can return to again and again. A quiet space where you are reminded that you are not alone, that you are not overwhelmed, that you are held within the presence of a loving and faithful God. Beloved, as this moment of prayer gently comes to a close, don't rush away too quickly. Remain here for just a little while longer, allowing the peace of God to settle deeply within your heart. Let this quiet presence linger with you, not just as a feeling, but as a knowing that God has heard you, that He is with you, and that this week you have placed into His hands is already being covered by His grace. Carry this peace with you as you step into your day. Let it guide your thoughts, your words, and your actions. When the world around you feels busy or uncertain, return to this calm place within your spirit. Remember that you have already surrendered this week to God, and He is faithfully walking with you through every moment that lies ahead. As you go forward, keep your heart open to God's presence. Notice the small ways He shows up for you, the quiet answers, the gentle nudges, the unexpected moments of favor. These are reminders that you are not alone, that your prayers are not unheard, and that God is actively involved in your life in ways both seen and unseen. If at any point you feel overwhelmed, pause, breathe, and reconnect with this moment. You don't have to carry everything at once. You don't have to solve everything immediately. God's peace is available to you again and again, ready to calm your mind and steady your heart whenever you turn back to Him. And as this prayer has touched your heart today, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel for daily prayers that will continue to strengthen your spirit and guide your mornings with peace. You are not walking this journey alone, and this space is here to remind you of God's presence every single day. Also, in the comments, write Amen as a simple act of faith, a quiet agreement with everything you have received in this moment, and share one thing you are believing God for this week. There is something powerful about expressing your faith, even in a small way, and standing in agreement with others who are also seeking God. As you step into this new week, walk with confidence, not in your own strength, but in God's faithfulness. Trust that He is ordering your steps, opening the right doors, and protecting you from what you cannot see. Every day ahead is already known to him, and he is guiding you with care and intention. Let your heart remain soft and receptive. Stay connected to God not just in moments of prayer, but throughout your day. In your thoughts, in your quiet reflections, in the simple awareness that he is with you. This connection will become your strength, your peace, and your steady anchor in every situation. Remember, this week is not ordinary. It has been dedicated to God. It is covered by his presence, filled with his peace, and guided by his hand. Even if things don't unfold exactly as you expect, trust that everything is still working together for your good, according to his perfect plan. And now, go forward gently, with a calm spirit, a trusting heart, and a quiet confidence that God is with you. This week is held in his hands. Your life is under his care, and his peace will remain with you every step of the way.